Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And a beautiful weekend. We did have plenty of wind, though, on Saturday and into Saturday night. Nice day yesterday with a high of 86. And look at this spectacular August day today as we look back up towards Rocky Reach Dam from our Obi Gardens Sky-Fi Tower camera and the beautiful blue waters of the Columbia River and lots of blue sky, too. And that allowed our temperatures to get into the lower 90s today. But we have wind in our forecast and hot temperatures once again for tomorrow, and that will mean elevated fire risk for Tuesday. In fact, we could see winds anywhere between 10 and 20 miles an hour. I'm thinking in the Wenatchee area, but up to 20 to 30 miles an hour possibly for Moses Lake, the Waterville Plateau, and points east. So we will keep our eye on that, and we'll talk much more about that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. For the second time in less than a week, a home was hit by gunfire late Thursday night in a drive-by shooting in the Larson housing community outside Moses Lake. 2 people were reported to have died from COVID-19 in Grant County last week, bringing the county's total to 12 deaths from the virus. And the Washington State Tree Fruit Association released its forecast for the 2020 Washington State fresh apple crop, and we'll tell you about that. But first, we begin tonight. Rescuers had to navigate about a mile of steep terrain to rescue a paraglider who crashed on Saturday morning on the east side of Chelan Butte. The woman had been flying with a group of friends when she crashed. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office said she's a Chelan County resident in her 40s. She was taken by life flight from Central Washington with undisclosed injuries. After receiving the call at about 11 a.m., Chelan Fire and Rescue crews descended the hillside to reach the woman and then carried her up to the waiting air ambulance. Well, for the second time in less than a week, a home was hit by gunfire late Thursday night in a drive-by shooting in the Larson housing community outside Moses Lake. A Grant County Sheriff's deputy on patrol heard the shots just before midnight, and then the homeowner called to report that their house in the 1000 block of Northwest Lane had been shot at. Investigators found 7 bullet holes in the house, but nobody was injured. The previous Sunday, 2 homes less than a mile away were hit by gunfire, and the suspect's car crashed into a parked car while fleeing the scene. No arrests have been made in either of those shootings. Well, 2 people were reported to have died from COVID-19 in Grant County last week. That brings the county's total now to 12 deaths from the virus. The latest death reported on Friday was a Moses Lake man in his 80s who'd been hospitalized with other health issues. The Grant County Health District on Wednesday reported the county's 11th death, a woman in her 80s who also suffered from underlying health issues. The Washington State Tree Fruit Association released its forecast for the 2020 Washington State fresh apple crop on Friday, and the 2020 forecast is for a crop of 134 million standard 40-pound boxes of fresh apples. That's very close to 2019's 133.9 million box crop. Consumers will have many varieties of Washington apples to choose from. For the second straight year, Gala will be the most numerous variety at 23%. Red Delicious then comes in second, projected at 17%, followed by Fuji at 14%, and Granny Smith and Honeycrisp at 13% of total production. Apple harvest typically begins in August and continues into November, and keep in mind that can be affected by variable weather, which could change final harvest totals. Coming up next, an interagency firefighting team was able to halt the growth of the Chickaman fire burning on a mountain ridge northeast of Lake Washington over the weekend. Some good news and some not so good news in the latest real estate snapshot in the Wenatchee market. And Tiffany Gearing has overtaken Brant Capel in the race for the final spot on the November ballot in the race for District 3 Chelan County Commissioner. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock Seal Coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
I have fiber at home because it allows me to do a great job in my profession. It allows me to learn things that I need to learn at home. It allows my kids to hopefully one day be able to be educated because of what they learned online and what they learned from their teachers. And it allows us to have fun too as a family. And we're able to do a lot of things because of fiber internet. I'm Rudy, and my family learns with fiber.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Welcome back. In another news, an interagency firefighting team was able to halt the growth of the Chickaman fire burning on a mountain ridge northeast of Lake Wenatchee over the weekend. The lightning-caused fire in challenging terrain has been 50% contained after burning about 350 acres. A reconnaissance flight first spotted the fire back on July 31st after a dry lightning storm passed through the area the previous night. Numerous road and trail closures in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest remain in place. Well, some good news and some not so good news in the latest real estate snapshot in the Wenatchee market. According to Pacific Appraisal Associates, total home sales in July were up 12% compared to July of 2019, while active listings are down a whopping 57% from 205 in July of 2019 to just 89 in July of this year. Year-to-date median sales price is up once again by 3% this time to $355,000, while year-to-date average sales price is up by 10% to $403,962. That's compared to just over $368,000 just 1 year ago. The Wenatchee real estate market consists of Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, Malaga, Orondo, and Rock Island. Well, in other news, Tiffany Gehring has overtaken Brant Capel in the race for the final spot on the November ballot in the race for District 3 Chelan County Commissioner. One of the two will face Dale England in November. After Friday's count, Gehring led Capel by 132 votes at 2,703 to 2,571. After the election night count last Tuesday, Capel was ahead of Gehring by 62 votes. There are 337 votes left to be counted, with the results expected on August 18th. Gehring is the Chief Operations Officer of the Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce, while Capel has served as a legislative assistant. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Don't worry, All the fun is around the corner. There's no better time to get ready than now with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa sale. Stock Up and Save sale is now going on in-store and online at bluelagoonpoolandspa.com. Even pool heaters are on sale. Financing available upon approval. Credit 24-month, no interest with equal payments. Stop by today or order online at bluelagoonpoolandspa.com. Free water testing available in-store or curbside. Don't wait. The sale is going on now.
Introducing the most capable Sierra lineup ever.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's features story, Okanagan County got a lot of attention last week, including on NBC's Today Show, when its newfound cases of COVID-19 made it to the epicenter of the pandemic in Washington. But Okanagan Public Health Director Lori Jones says the same increased testing that identified the county as a hotspot will help her agency get on top of the virus, and the effort will continue this week.
Well, our incidence rates are starting to come down. I haven't looked today, but people have to keep in mind that the only area we've done community-wide testing is in the Brewster area, which is agricultural. We will be starting next week bringing in a mobile testing unit. So everyone, the rumor is, oh no, the National Guard's coming in. Well, they offered, we have a mobile testing unit we've been looking at with the State Emergency Operations Center run by the Guard, and our own homegrown Randy Robbins, who's a PA, he's also in the Guard, will be heading up that effort. We're going to do testing all over Okanagan County and see if we can't get our incidence rate down. But we're excited about those efforts, and because we don't want to be number one. We also know that we got testing late. So I was requesting testing in March just to test suppression theory. But of course, there weren't enough tests in the state at that time, and they needed to be in those high prevalence areas of King and Snohomish counties. So we're finally getting our just day to do testing.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast, and I hope you all had a great weekend. Weather-wise, it wasn't too bad. I was down in the Sunland area. If you're familiar with that, it's down by the gorge near George, and it was a beautiful weekend. A little bit windy down that way on Saturday too. A lot like here in the Wenatchee Valley, but today, what a spectacular summer day as we look out at Rocky Reach Dam and the beautiful Columbia River, the blue waters of that, and some blue sky as well. Also looking back the other way, a fantastic day too. Here's the other direction, looking back at Turtle Rock. How about that gorgeous shot? And once again, thank you to Sky-Fi and Localtel for providing these beautiful camera shots. A lone boater out there this afternoon. A few more then later today because it got warm out there. Unofficial high at Pangbourne Airport here in the Wenatchee Valley today, 93 degrees, and that's 5 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. 64 is where we started our day, and that's right in the ballpark of 62. 104, our record high set back in 1971. Record low, 53 degrees, and that was in 1964. before, so a while ago for that one. Still at 2.66 inches of moisture for the year. Sunrise this morning, 5:51, and the sun will set tonight at an even 8:20. Let's take a peek now at how our Tuesday is going to shape up. Not quite as hot as today, or warm, however you may want to put it, but temperatures will be down a degree or two tomorrow. 92 for Ephrata and Moses Lake, 91 Quincy, 90 in Wenatchee, so we'll cool off about 2 to 3 degrees for most of us tomorrow. 87 in Leavenworth and 91 your high temperature tomorrow in Chelan. Taking a look at that surface loop now. Tonight we do expect breezy conditions. We did see a little bit of that off and on today, but it really won't be bad. Most of the real wind off the coast of Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. We'll see lots of clear skies tonight, and it'll be awfully mild too, with low temperatures tonight expected mainly in the mid-60s. As we get into Tuesday then, sunshine, and it will be just downright windy at times, especially right here in north central Washington. We will be warm once again too. I just showed you not quite as warm as today, but high temperatures tomorrow right around that 90-degree mark. As we get into Wednesday then, big weather changes as a cold front slides through Washington state. That'll bring some breezes up and drop our temperature at least 10 degrees as we get into Wednesday. So expect highs on Wednesday only in the lower 80s, where today, yeah, we're in the lower 90s. For Thursday then, mostly sunny. We'll have a slow warm up of temperatures beginning on Thursday, but we're going to stay below normal on Thursday with highs then only in the lower to mid 80s. And as we get into Friday, still a little bit warmer, but about normal. We'll be mid to upper 80s. High pressure building back in over the western United States, and we will have a nice ridge of high pressure over us just in time for the upcoming weekend. So if you have outdoor plans, man, this weekend looks great. As our heat wave begins, Saturday will be absolutely in the lower 90s, maybe even middle 90s as we finish the weekend. As we get into our Sunday forecast, downright hot all the way from eastern Washington down the coast and of course into Phoenix, where it has just been scorching this summer. High temperatures there in the 115 mark once again, and past that we're going to stay hot, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow night when we meet again here in the evening news. Now let's take a look at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling 7-day forecast. 63 degrees our overnight low tonight, 90 the high as we get into Tuesday. There's that big cool down, about 8 degrees for us in Wenatchee and 82. Beautiful Thursday and Friday, temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, and then we're going to jump up as that heat wave begins. Lower 90s on Saturday, all the way up to 95 degrees as we get into Sunday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. The winds of change are blowing through Wenatchee Valley Super Oval Saturday night. Checkered flags flew for new names in all but one class of racing at the High Bank quarter-mile track. Just as our broadcast began, we had a nearly 30-minute delay for oil on the track, which would be a theme throughout the early portion of the evening. But when they finally got to racing, it was pure adrenaline. As it began with the Bandoleros and concluded with the pro late models, I was joined by Greg Rentz with a call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Mullins taking a peek to the inside, gets a run. J.J. Mullins getting the lead at Wenatchee. Checkered flag is out. Mullins wins. Oler's second, Hamlin third.
This has been fun out here racing with all these people. The first lap went under the guy in first. Went under him, we got a little bit loose, didn't see me there. Went under the white line. We got back to the back, but we made it back to the front.
Win number 4 on the season is going to go to Evan Getz in the 22. It's a race for second, and it's going to be Kaden Moran holding on. Danica Dart rounds out the podium.
Yeah, the car felt really good tonight, and I hope it stays like that.
Well, it was hooked up all night. You have been the dominant car in the series. 4 wins on the season, and you now have one at all 3 tracks that the series goes to. So how does it feel being able to run one of these cars like this?
It feels really good, and I hope I can race with the Prolates next year or maybe in 2 years.
Pull them off through 3 and 4. Win number 3 on the season. Seth Frazier is still undefeated in main event action. Wins at Wenatchee. Garrett Huff finds second. Contact, and around goes Doyle.
Doyle goes around, and third place is going to go to Mike Sims. Holy cow.
Well, yeah, it was a fun race. You know, Garrett's one of the best upcoming drivers in Northwest and one of the best pro late model drivers around, so it was fun getting into battle against him, and it was a good night of racing.
Seth, another win for you. That makes 3 on the season, and this car really seems to treat you well.
Yeah, it's a really good car. It was, you know, built by some of the best guys that build race cars, and should have a good rest of the year.
Still touching there through turn 3. Contact all the way through turn 3 and 4. Norman inside, Navarrete outside. And give it to Norman, the Acoma driver. Here comes Lawson back on the outside. Norman gets the win. It's a drag race for third. And Brandon Knopf's going to hold on.
It was fast. It's fast. And I'd like to thank Myra Z and Bad Thing with JC Wofford. And we're here for you guys, so we're here.
James, first time here at Wenatchee. How do you like it?
Oh, it's fun. I'm coming back for sure, so we'll be here.
8 laps to go. He's peeking low. He's got to run Woods, and they crash.
Oh my gosh.
Woods got loose. They connect, and Gary Holmad is going to inherit the race lead.
Morrison giving it all he can, coming up to turn 3.
Right on the bumper, white flag. 1 lap to go. They touch. Holmad slides. Can Morrison get there? He's going to have one final shot going into turn 3. He's taking the peek inside. Get to the bumper. Holmad's going to hold on and get the win. Gary Holmad holds on. And Morrison goes around at the line, but he still finishes second.
Man, what a night. My guys, Corey and the guys are just awesome. They just keep plugging at this. We're really probably 6th, 7th place car, and we just tinker with it and make it go faster.
Gary, when you're in third and then all of a sudden something like that happens and the top 2 are wrecked out and all of a sudden you find yourself in the lead in a duel with Brad Morrison, what goes through your head on that caution when you're like, oh gosh, all of a sudden I'm in the race lead with 9 to go?
Well, it's good to be lucky for sure, but you got to put yourself in the position when the luck happens, then you take advantage of it and you end up in first place.
All right, let's run it down again from the Les Schwab scoreboard. Jordan Mullins of Natchez won the Bandolero main event, followed by Riker Oler of Prosser and Oregon City's James Hamlin. Okanagan's Evan Getz grabbed the checkered flag in the Mountain Dew Junior late models. Kennewick's Caden Moran was second, followed by Freitas Danica Dart in third. And the third time this season winning in the Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thundercar main was East Wenatchee's Seth Frazier. Sela's Garrett Huffines took second, and East Wenatchee's Mike Sims was third. Yakima's James Norman drove around around the big field of Plum Perfect Roadrunners to place first. Wenatchee's Jared Ingram was second, followed by Arlington's Matt Lawson third. And after a wreck with 9 laps to go, taking out Jake Woods and Glenn Knutson, Gary Homad won on his home track for the first time since 2009. Moses Lake's Brad Morrison took second. Quincy's Michael Knutson third. WVSO will be back at it in a couple of weeks, August 22nd, with the Northwest Focus Midget Series, Thunder Cars, Roadrunners, and B-Mods all scheduled to race. Well, the Mariners snapped a 3-game losing streak Sunday with a 5-3 win over the Colorado Rockies, just as Sheffield dominated on the mound, going 6 innings, allowing no runs, 4 hits, and 7 strikeouts to earn his first win of the season. Sheffield got some help in the bottom of the first from left fielder Dylan Moore.
Cracked deep out to right field. Blackman having to chase after it. Blackman looking up, and this is gone for a home run. Number 3 on the season for Dylan Moore. And right away, the Mariners get on the board. 2-0, 2 batters into the Mariners' first inning.
Yeah, this is the second opposite field home run for him this year. His 3rd overall, exit velo of 102, 371 feet. Mariners off to a fast start.
Sunday's quick start offensively was in sharp contrast to what happened on Saturday at T-Mobile Park. Rocky reliever Jeff Hoffman and 3 other pitchers combined on a 1-hit shutout of Seattle in Colorado's 5-0 victory. J.P. Crawford, the only Mariner to get a hit with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Things didn't go much better Friday night as Colorado won the first game of the series 8-4. Austin Nola and Kyle Seager each contributed a couple of hits apiece. Yusei Kikuchi lasted 5 2/3, took the loss. Charlie Blackmon probably going to hate leaving Seattle. The veteran right fielder was 8 for 11 in the series, 4 runs, 4 RBIs, a home run, and 2 doubles. Seattle begins the first of 3 games in Texas tonight. Justin Dunn facing Kyle Gibson. Seahawk news, cornerback Quinton Dunbar, a day after robbery charges were dropped against him, was removed from the commissioner's exempt list. This according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. This frees Dunbar up to be able to join his teammates in training camp. And for the first time, the Seahawks have a player on the reserve COVID-19 list. Second-year wide receiver John Ursua was placed on the list Sunday. Seattle has previously one of 6 teams that had no players on the reserve COVID list since training camp began 2 weeks ago. That's sports. Grant, back to you.
And thank you very much, Eric. And finally tonight, Chelan's iconic Lakeview Drive-In announced over the weekend that as of Tuesday, they'll be closing for at least the next few weeks over COVID-19 concerns. In a letter to the community, the owners said the combination of a growing number of coronavirus cases in the county and a larger than usual number of tourists have led them to make this decision. They emphasize there's not been an outbreak of COVID-19 at the restaurant. One employee, though, did test positive about a month ago, and after a quarantine period, was able to return to work. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Join me tomorrow, Tuesday, for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll have everything you need to get your day up and running. News is important. I'll fill your head full of the information that you need. We'll have sports, talking a little Mariner, talking a little Seahawks, and other stuff. Plus, we'll have an opinion from Mike McNaughty. Today in history, some celebrity birthdays in the Obscura holiday. It's fun, it's informative, it's local television, or as we like to say in the business, TV. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live and local, 7 a.m. tomorrow, right here. Grant, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
In the heart of the Wenatchee Valley lies a unique Ford and Lincoln dealership. This is Pat Armstrong Ford Lincoln, home of the lifetime warranty. Pat Armstrong Ford's mission is to exceed your expectations by taking pride in making your car buying experience as comfortable and timely as possible. This mission is consistent in every department, including parts, service, and sales. We are community strong and community safe in East Wenatchee.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCWLIFE magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCWLIFE magazine right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hi, I'm Darcy Christofferson, Administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, and you are watching the NCWLIFE